I'm reviewing How to Be a Hero on Earth 5 and How to Save the Universe Again by Rob Payne. And they're young adult books. And this book says, there's a little blurb on the cover, The Woody Allen of Youth Lit. And honestly, I laughed a couple times. So
funnier than Woody Allen, right? Or did you like Woody Allen back?
I liked Woody Allen stuff.
He's funny. I think he used to be a lot funnier in the 60s and 70s.
Where did I rate my review of this?
Was it in the other one?
No, I wrote something. This book is great. I love that the main character is a condiment painter at Burger Hut. There's such good comedy in this. I even laughed aloud. It was when Dolores said, "Our competitors are all primates." That was page 156. It was entertaining right through to the end. I don't care for the end a huge amount, but
you're not going to give it away though.
No. But yeah, that condiment painter at Burger Hut, that's so great. You know, it's like, because this is Canadian author. And I mean, we have Burger King, we have Pizza Hut, and at Subway they have sandwich artists.
I like that.
So he was trying to cover some bases there. And I think what do they call their coffee people at Starbucks? I think it's something...
Baristas?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or is that too low?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, it covers the Burger King, Pizza Hut, and Subway. Condiment painter. It's awesome. So anyway, I love this. I love this. I've been reading a lot of really bad fiction, and this lightened my spirits for a little while. Now, I don't know if I wrote anything in this one yet, and I should have, because I took longer to get through this one. And I did enjoy some things about it, but there was, I mean, this one, he says in this that somewhere, it was something like he had this idea just popping around in his head for 10 years, and he decided, I'm just going to stick that down on paper or whatever. I don't know. He said that somewhere in here.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I believe it was 10 years, a long period of time. But I think he'd written other stuff, right?
Yeah. But this one, it felt like he was encouraged by the publisher maybe to punch something out too quickly. I still enjoyed it, but there was just a little bit too much. I mean, the snail thing was interesting. And the whole snowstorm thing and whatever. You know, there would seem to be too much going on, and all of these little dramas were there because there wasn't enough big story.
There wasn't 10 years of ideas behind it.
He just plunked a whole bunch of little things together to try to keep us entertained, right? Action, so much going on, and I didn't. And the ending, I didn't care for. But honestly, it's even worth reading. It's just after this one, maybe read this one first, because this one's so good, you'll be thinking, oh, this is going to be great too, and it's not as great as the first one. So that's really all I had to say about these two. They're definitely worth reading, even if you're not a young adult, even if you're a 46-year-old woman. Still entertaining. So it's honestly, this was a breath of fresh air. Like, we've went through this winter. We went through a bunch of audiobooks, and we had a lot of young adult fiction kicking around because I'd been saving it for when we're on a road trip or whatever. And honestly, I don't even, it doesn't bother me when the fiction is bad when we're on a road trip. Then we just get a laugh out of it and we start talking about whatever, right?
Fiction or non-fiction. We've
doesn't matter.
listened to some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
About, the power things, or what is that about?
The Secret.
The Secret of Power.
The Secret. It's just called The Secret.
It's just called The Secret. Yeah, it's amazing.
And
Australian woman who was narrating.
oh, that one's on the shelf permanently. Like, we're keeping that one.
Yeah, it's classic.
It's so good.
Campy classic.
Yes. As far as fiction goes, it is awesome. If you actually believe in that, well,
good luck with that.
Yeah, but anyway, we went through so much young adult fiction, and there was so much, honestly, there was too much sex in it. It was ridiculous sex. Like, some of it got to the point where it was boring.
Predictably silly, right?
And some of it was just hilarious because it was so ridiculous. Anyway, so this doesn't have any sex in it. Yay! Some young adult stuff without sex in it. There's just a lot of entertaining stuff. Doesn't need sex in it. It's just funny. Now, there were some things in this. I should have made note of it because I like to keep track of things, the page number, and then I go back and whatever. I think it was this first one, but maybe not. But I think it was where Dolores, I think her name is, the goth girl.
She's kind of sad then.
Huh?
Is she kind of sad?
She's
gone.
She has some pent up rage, I think.
Okay, so
but anyway, she's
Dolores means dolorous, sad.
Okay. Well, she doesn't want to be married or anything like that because her parents, she
bad relationship.
Yeah, she thinks her mom's pretty weak and has to have, relies on her husband's views for everything, his opinion, whatever. She can't think for herself. So Dolores has rebelled against that sort of thing, and she's a goth chick, and she's anyway, she's stuck in these stories. What happens is they get there's multiple Earths, and the main character, and he has a bunch of companions that, they're not his friends or anything. They're just people that are stuck in this same sort of situation where they're going to, okay, what happens is they get kind of whatever they're thinking, they get in, they're not supposed to be in, they're supposed to be on Earth, one or whatever. And so because they're not where they're supposed to be, they get these things happen to them where they're like these shifts, right? It's kind of like a universe shift or something like that, where they'll think of something and all of a sudden it'll be there, but it's going to be attacking them, kind of thing, right? It's like the first thing that happens is he's attacked by a wig, I think it was, a killer wig, and that was fairly easy for him to
wasn't
protect
a relative
himself
of
against.
Kirsten Wig, then, is what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
But anyway, so Dolores is in one of these things, these mind trap kind of things, right? And she's in this lounge or whatever, and everyone in the lounge is a bunch of nerds. And so
isn't it always that way, though, in a lounge?
So she's just surrounded by them, and they're all in love with her, and they're trying to give her things and, you know, get them interested in her, and she doesn't want to, like, she's like, you know, if there was one of them or two of them, I could beat them up and leave, but there's so many of them, you know, and I didn't like that was her answer, but, you know, she's a rough kind of girl, and I guess that probably is her answer to everything, is beat them up. But, and then the main character, he didn't, like, he was there to try to help get her out of this mind trap, right? And I don't know. I didn't like the way that the author wrote about the, you know, like the main character was saying, well, nerds they always have an unwarranted high opinion of themselves or whatever.
Really?
Like, yeah, and it's like, no, maybe yellows think that about blues, but no, that's usually it's warranted. You just have to, sometimes they're, you know, they're really good at something that's, you might find entirely useless, and sometimes, you know, I think almost everyone would. Like, if you're really good at World of Warcraft or whatever the latest game is or whatever, and that's what you focus on, maybe shift your focus a little bit. I mean, there's other things out there that you can really concentrate at being really good at.
Like medicine.
And, yeah. So anyway. But, so I didn't like that. You know, the author's views were coming through in that, and that bothered me. I didn't like the way that the author didn't understand nerds at all, honestly. I mean, there's nerds of all different kinds, but he was having, I mean, I have had some experience having analytical people being interested in me, because I find them interesting. So they kind of get that, right? Or at least they have a sense of it, and so maybe they approach me. Anyway, and so the author has them giving her gifts, and they're things that she might actually want. So they're bribing her to try to interest her in them, right? And the author has them giving her things like car keys and stuff like that. Like, and they would not. Unless they built the car, they would want to try to show her, look at, I'm a superior male because look at what I can do, right? Because that's what analytical people do. They will do something. I remember my ex-boyfriend, the first thing he gave me was this little, I don't know, it was maybe this big or something. It was this very detailed car that he'd been putting together. It was a little, you know, a little model thing. And it was very well done. There were no, you know, none of the glue, this was when I was a teenager, none of the glue was where it shouldn't be, and all of the color was where it should be, and whatever. So I could tell it was very, he'd taken time on it. And I was just like, why would I want that? and that was mean. And I was like, well, it's very well done, you know, and but this is something you are obviously interested in, but I'm not interested in toy cars, you know. But I appreciated the thought that went into it, and I think I saved it, and I don't know where it went eventually. And so I would give him things that I would think, oh, he must want this, because, you know, and so people do that especially when they're they haven't had a lot of experience with other people, maybe. I don't know. But they think, oh, well, I'm really interested in this, so everyone will be really interested in this. And, well, you got to get to know people a little bit. They have different interests. And, but I was interested in the fact that he knew how to put this thing together very well. And it showed that he would be committed to something and work through to the end. And that's something, right? And then he tried to figure out what my interests were, and, you know, gardening and that, and so he built a greenhouse. And it was really nice. He did it just pretty quickly, and it was impressive. So,
Yeah, that ability to get to the end of something
did.
is very impressive.
It is.
I don't know if a person's born with it. I don't think so. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was thinking I live in a fantasy world. But
Well,
you know,
when you did the same sort of thing when
I go
we
out to
first got together.
I go out to realize my fantasies.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to learn Syriac, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn it in a few weeks and that sort of
You
stuff.
guys. So, yeah, boy, those flies are terrible. You may as well just give that to the dogs.
This is going to the dogs.
Good. So anyway,
Going to the dogs.
yeah, if the flies don't get to it first. But
They're getting to it. I'm not so defending it anymore.
what was I going to say? Oh yeah, you did the same thing. When we got together, you gave me some award that you'd gotten at a contest or something for, I don't know, answering questions right or something. I don't know what it was.
Oh, I remember what it was.
Yeah.
These guys, they were on a particular crew with the city. I won't say what. I think the guy involved was retired, but would have been retired by now.
Yeah.
But he was asking me the questions, right? And I fed them to him. I maybe shouldn't have. So he won this.
Oh, and then he
Award.
gave you the award.
He gave me the award.
Wow, that's very nice of him.
He just wanted to be known that he won it, right?
Oh, that's actually pretty funny. Okay, so you're going to review some
So
books now.
that maybe that's one reason why I'm loyal to him and not mentioning it.
Yeah. But anyway, so James gave me this award, and I'm like, why would I want this? You know, that's nice that you won this thing.
Well, I hadn't
And-
won it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
and
This other guy did. I
but
never would have entered.
it's, you know, so
I
he's
thought
trying to show me. He's trying to show me, look, I know a lot of things, because that's what analytical people do. They give you some gift that shows that they are actually shows that they're analytical. Honestly, because it's important to actually use your brain, and people like me will see that, well, that's who you are. So that's what I'm attracted to. Somebody who's analytical. But at the same time, I will say the truth, and I'll say, why would I want this thing? So I hope I didn't hurt your feelings when I did that. No, apparently I didn't hurt Silas's either. He went on to build the greenhouse, and he did an excellent job.
So he was good at a
amazing.
lot of things. He was a lot better with his hands than me. I'm good at manipulating thoughts. And my suspicion is I was better than him at it. He might have been good at it if he practiced it.
Okay, I'm bringing this in
Good,
and setting it on the. You talk about your books.
If you set it on the table, the dogs won't be able to get it. There'll still be some bones in it. Okay, so it's not books, just one book. Wee little book. Rome, past and present. The date's from when? 1961? Let me just check and see. I overestimated. 1962. Long time ago. Almost two generations ago. I count the generation as being roughly 30 years. I think I'm not the only person who does that. And so it's 59 years old. It's a very nice little edition. It's a tourist manual, as it were. And
Hi, how's it going? Don't worry, nobody
it's got a
else is
very
gonna
nice feature.
get-
I don't know if I've ever seen it anywhere else.
Yeah, it's great.
So it shows the
It's like one of those things where where you have the human body and you have the skeleton and then you have the
transparencies
meat on top
and
and
stuff
then you
like
have
that.
the
Various transparencies. So or sections,
Organs.
I think is what
yeah. So it shows you
Anatomists
what
would call
it
it. So
would have
this is
looked
what
like.
it would have looked like
Yeah.
way back when, at a particular point in time. This is
And
what it looks like now.
Exactly.
It's kind of sad when you see
I've
this
checked
huge
out that book
edifice,
before.
and then you
That
see
you have.
3 columns remaining, and
Yeah.
this edifice over here,
Yeah.
2 columns remaining. But this is what
It's
happens.
amazing that they're still standing. Honestly.
So it's interesting because
Whoa.
you can see that it was destroyed by a bunch of Germans coming in and stuff like that. I'm not talking about Hitler. I'm talking about the Vandals and the Goths and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
I
it's
gotta-
amazing how fast aggressive people can destroy.
yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day,
Civilization.
but
Yeah,
lots of it would have got destroyed in a
pretty
day.
quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by a bunch of bumheads.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is actually destroyed by their own people. So it wasn't just in the Middle East where Egyptians were taking down stuff with limestone and lime burning.
Yeah, but you know that idea of your own people, I don't really, I don't go along with that.
Okay.
It's done by aggressive people. It could be aggressive people within the same country, but it's still aggressive people destroying the work of analytical and amiable people.
Well, I mean, sometimes you might call it aggressive. I mean, lime burners are just trying to, they'd be like Marines, right? But they've been given carte blanche to do this by aggressive people.
Yeah.
So in the Middle East, it's like, like who cares about monuments? I mean, you get ISIS; they're very, very aggressive dictators on the Briggs-Meyer thing. But there's this other thing, like this is the period of what the Muslims call ignorance, and anything before Islam is ignorance. Particularly Egypt, they tend to call any ruler nowadays who they consider bad, which is anyone who's secular, and anyone who's Muslim that they don't like, or particularly secular, they call him Pharaoh. Because Pharaoh is mentioned several times in the Quran, and it's all disparaging. But it's because of that, and it was a similar thing, I suspect, with the people in Rome who were despoiling the monuments for building stone. They would have been Christians, you see, and these monuments would have been almost entirely, there would have been exceptions. Monuments to people who were not just pagans, but in the case of emperors, deified pagans. It's not so much they were worshipping.
Oh, I took
God.
your fork away.
It doesn't matter. Worshipping gods. They were gods themselves. So, it's a change of heart. One of the interesting things in here is they're saying Rome just kept on becoming more and more, getting more and more ruinous. Kind of ignored until the end of the 18th century. What's Cuba? That's when archaeologists started digging it up. Oh, you see, this is when that flunky Edward Said in Orientalism, that's where he starts, 1798, so that's the end of the 18th century. And that's when Napoleon invaded Egypt. He's more interested in the Suez Canal and via that India. He wanted to take India away from the he was absolutely, what an idiot. But it didn't work out for him in Egypt. He was there for a few years. And he brought a bunch of scientists and other learned individuals along to study the monuments and other things in Egypt. I think it was flora and fauna as well. And Edward Said says, this is Orientalism the start of it, in a serious way. You come there, you peer, you're spying, you're checking it out so you can colonize and imperialize and stuff like that. The greatest Orientalists have been Germans. Oh, they didn't imperialize the Middle East. Yeah, Edward Said. You're spinning around in your grave or wherever you're at. But yeah, you didn't do your homework, you stupid moron. So the oxymoron, that's dull. That's all I mean by moron. Sharp, dull. Someone who thinks they're sharp but they're dull. So yeah, it's. But you see, they were doing the same thing with their own monuments. That's when they got interested in the Roman monuments. It doesn't have much to do with spying and peering things out. They were just interested in information. Now, there were lots of archaeologists who were spies. Did T.E. Lawrence of Arabia, did he do some archaeology? Did Edward, what was his name? Leonard Woolley, was he involved in spying? Could be, But that's above and beyond the archaeological stuff. If they're doing this other stuff, that's separate from it. So Orientalism, they were doing their own Occidentalism. So wake up and smell the coffee, the Turkish coffee. It's really strong. Should have smelled it a long time ago. You phony Orientalists, you Occidentalists, or whatever. You people who think Edward Said's so profound. He was an idiot. There were some stupid people who were styled themselves or were styled as Orientalists who were going around saying, all the East is the same. It's all about passivity. What? Islam being about passivity? I mean, that's just stupidity. But what you've got with Edward Said, all Occidental people are the same. They're here to spy out and to colonize and imperialize. Yeah, like even the Social Democrats and stuff like that. They're, what he's doing is just gross stereotyping. Stupid. It's as bad or worse than what some of these stupid Orientalists who are generalizing about the whole East, all of Asia being the same. There's a huge difference in terms of passivity between Buddhists and some Hindus, Jains, shall we say, on the one hand, and Muslims and Sikhs on the other. Anyway, Edward Said wasn't even that original. He plagiarized the idea of Orientalism from a dude, a Muslim fundamentalist, and he might not have got that idea. And here's what this Muslim fundamentalist was saying. At least 10 years before Said published Orientalism, the wily Orientalist keeps on lying, telling us that Islam is about peace. And it goes on and on. The wily Orientalist, it keeps on telling us Islam is about peace. These evil Orientalists. You see?
Well, that's perspective, right? Some people value different things, and
well, Edward Said would have been going around saying, they're going around saying we're all violent and stuff like that. What a moron. Oxymoron, get that straight.
And
Sharp,
well,
dull. That's what oxymoron.
There's gentle people probably in every society, and